What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cool Colas here, and you are now tuning into a new video on my channel. But before we get on to the topic for today, I would love it if you did a few things. Hit the like button, subscribe button, share button, and bell icon so you get notifications for whenever I come out with new content on this channel. And then when you are finished watching this video, leave me a comment below. That way I can get back to whatever it is that you had to say about the topic. For today's topic, I was asked by someone in the comment section if I could talk about the Travis Hunter situation, specifically Travis Hunter getting disrespected by his fiance, and all of my thoughts on it. So let's get into it. There's a saying out there that people tend to believe, which is that if the vast majority of people are saying the same thing, then it must be true. I don't always believe that, but I do in this case. At the end of the day, Travis Hunter has been given so much nurturing, advice, and everything in between from OGs, black men who are older, who have experienced the things that he's experiencing now. He's gotten advice from young black men who are either around his age or a little bit older, in my age range. So we're talking about now the millennials. We've given advice. Sisters have been given advice. Older black women have been given advice. Everybody has been given advice to this young man. And a lot of us have been pretty much saying the same thing, which is that he needs to watch out. He needs to watch his back. He needs to reassess this whole situation and realize that he could have his whole life turned upside down based off of the decisions he's making in his relationship with this young lady. Now, we need to talk about all of the different problems and issues and the things that, I think people need to really take a look at when it comes to this situation. Just by looking at him, I can tell that Travis Hunter is a guy who maybe has a little bit of low self-esteem, maybe low self-worth, because of the way that he's allowing this woman to talk to him, treat him, and the things that she says about him publicly. It's just a bad look, and he's allowing it because I think that he is the type of dude who has, as one of my friends once said, ugly Negro syndrome. Now, I'm not rating his looks or anything like that, but I'm just saying, you can look at this dude and tell that most people would probably think he's a funny looking dude. And a lot of dudes who are like that, a lot of chicks won't be checking for them, especially if they don't have a strong mouthpiece. But I think what happened is, because of him knowing this and seeing that women aren't checking for him, he is going to lock on to the first woman who pays him any type of attention. And if you really assess the situation, she herself said that she was not checking for him. She put him in the friend zone. He had to work for her. So he's trying to make it basically seem like she is trying to make it seem like she is the prize that he had to work for. And on top of that too, at the time when they met, she was in college, he was in high school. So you have to kind of think about this whole situation and realize that he is a brother who did not get any women back in the day. Women weren't checking for him at first until they found out that he was a star athlete and he has a lot of talents, and that means big money at the end of the day. And let's be real. When it comes to this woman acting like she is the prize and he needs to just grovel over her and he needs to do all of this stuff to basically show that he's working for her and all this other stuff, she got the whole game twisted. Let's just be real here. This chick, in my opinion, is maybe a 6 out of 10. She has an okay face. Her body's all right, but her face is really, really just all right. She's a very basic looking chick. And she's acting like she's a 10 or a 9. She is acting like her shit is just hot. And really all she's showing us is that she is very disrespectful. She is very manipulative, and she's also very deceitful, So I think that and I don't know her personally. I'm just going based off of the things that I've been seeing and the things that she has said, and just certain things I've kind of noticed. And obviously we don't know all of what's happening behind closed doors, so I do want to make that a point. But for her to say that she is the prize, I mean, this is a brother who is a star athlete. He is a star football player. I mean, he's getting a Heisman Trophy. I mean, I heard is also a good basketball player as well too. And on top of all of this, even if something tragic, God forbid, happens to this brother, he is highly intelligent and he will still have a bright future ahead of him academically or from a career standpoint. So for her to sit here and act like she is the prize between the two, nah, woman, let's be real. You are an individual who is trying to exploit your hypergamous nature. You are trying to go after the gold. You know that the only way that you are going to be about something is if you latch on to a brother who has a lot of stuff going on, and you have to try to play nice in order to get to the goal. Let's be real. I mean, if you look at a lot of the interviews, I mean, again, she said stuff like she wasn't checking for him when she first saw him and all this other stuff. She put him in the friend zone. He had to work for her. There's times where like there'll be little videos, and there was a point where he was at a game. He tried to give her a kiss and she wasn't trying to kiss him. They were in this Adidas commercial together, and I'm pretty sure a lot of that was her doing as well too. There was a video where she was talking about their rules for their relationship, but let's be real. The way that she was saying it, it was as if she was trying to make him say that it was their rules. So it was like she's still puppeteering it. And then on top of that too, you had it where, she was sitting there screening who he was taking pictures with and all this other stuff. So yeah, this chick is bad news. She's bad news, and she's a total opportunist. So I think the problem here is that everybody can see all of the signs, all of the issues, all of the problems, but Travis himself can't. And it's generally a thing that people tend to go through when they are in love or they are love struck or whatever the case may be. So for him, he's not really seeing that. And chances are the reason why he's not seeing it is she either probably gave him some puss out of this world, or she probably done domed my man up something crazy, or something like that. Or it just could be the idea that he is with a chick who looks exotic, because that has been a thing for some of these brothers, once again, who, again, women aren't checking for them. In the case if you're a brother, black women aren't checking for you. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna go after an exotic chick, which really isn't a flex, to be quite honest with you. And there's even been speculation with people as to whether or not she's even black. Some people have been saying she's not an FBA. But I personally went to her Instagram profile just to look this up for myself, and she had 2 flags on her profile, and one of them was the Mexican flag and the other one was the Filipino flag. So it looks like she's Mexican and Filipino, which to me screams non-black. And then she kind of has that J-Lo-esque type of look. Not as good looking as J-Lo, because again, this chick is average as shit. But I'm just saying that she has that type of look, because you have 3 types of Hispanics that can generally show up. You have, the white looking Hispanics who kind of look like Cameron Diaz. You have Hispanics who look somewhere in between like the J-Los. And then you have black Hispanics who may appear like Amara La Negra. So that's what I'm saying, is like, you can tell that she's somewhere in between like that J-Lo type of face. But either way, I would probably say that she's maybe like a white Hispanic or a non-black Hispanic just from looking at her. But again, I could be wrong. Either way, this is an exotic chick. Also, just as a man, it's a bad look to be with a woman who will openly disrespect you and make you seem like you're not shit. Because this whole ruse that she's creating, I have a feeling that the reason why she's doing all that is because she's, 1, trying to make herself look good, and 2, there probably is a level of resentment that she has to do all this, be with a Negro who she feels is ugly in order for her to have some type of status, clout, and to be able to kind of catch a dub off of his success, So ultimately, there's a few more problems here. You should only, as a black man, as any man, but I'm talking to black men specifically because we're talking about Travis Hunter, who is a black man. You should only want women who are going to hold you in the highest esteem and who are going to show you the respect that you deserve to have. Women who are going to treat you like you are special, like they see that special thing in you. They talk positively about you. They talk lovingly about you. And they certainly don't try to either compete or make it seem like you just ain't shit. Because let's be real. These are two average looking people. And she's trying to make it seem like she's up here and he's down here. And that's just not what it is. I even tell you from my experience, because I've gone through this to a certain extent before, and I'm sure a lot of other black men have also gone through the same thing. You know, I had this, there was this sister who I dated back when I was in college. And there was something that she said that just turned me all the way the fuck off. It told me that she didn't really hold me in that high of respect like I, had initially thought. And one of the things that she said to me was, when you have your career and I have my career, we're going to see who makes the most money, because if you make less money, then you're just going to be my house husband. So she was talking to me slick as hell. And she also showed that she didn't really have respect for me, because she was going to compete against me in order to undermine me. She wanted to emasculate me and reduce me to an individual who was going to, just be a house husband. And when she first said that, I was like, first of all, if you don't get your little goofy ass out here with that bullshit, like what kind of fantasy, the feminist shit do you got going on? And I straight up just told her, like, have you lost your damn mind? Have you lost your damn mind? First of all, I don't know who you're talking to. And second of all, we are in a relationship. We're not competing with each other. We are supposed to be working together. So no, you don't get to try to pull rank and talk about what's going to happen, what's going to go down, and this and that. So I recognize that this woman was talking to me in a way that showed that she didn't really have real respect for me. She was trying to compete with me or whatever the case may be. And for me, I was like, that's not the type of woman that I want. Matter of fact, I'm going to be totally real with you. If it's a thing where, I have a wife, I want my wife to be nurturing and loving to our kids, which means that the whole career thing, you may have to kind of put it on the back burner, because we need to take care of these kids. And I need my wife to be a nurturing wife. And it sounds to me like the nurture is gone. But once again, everything that I'm saying goes back to the whole idea of me saying that there is an element of him having low self-esteem, which is very clear in what we have seen thus far. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how hard-headed this man is being, because we are warning him about, how he needs to watch his back. He needs to be careful. He needs to realize what's happening in front of his face and that type of thing. The fact that this woman is actually grooming him. This woman is, she's a case that we've seen multiple times, 10 times over, where, you have this woman who gets with this man, and then he's an athlete, he's a star athlete, and he has all this success. And then all of a sudden, like, there's a rumor out there where she's saying he cheated, and they get a divorce because of irreconcilable differences and all this other stuff, right? And so that's the story that we've seen all the time, and it looks like it could be going in that direction. Now, again, some of us could be predestining it, and we could be like, looking too much into it, but it just really looks really, really funny. The point is that he's being hard-headed, and he's not seeing that this is a strong possibility of something that can happen, especially when you have a black athlete and you have a white Latina or non-black Latina, and I guess Asian chick, who is trying to leech off of your success. They don't have any type of camaraderie with you or your culture or anything like that. They want to be able to catch a bag any way that they can, because they are leeches and they are snakes. And to be real with you, he's being hard-headed because if he was really listening to us, he would probably get a prenup, because of the fact that this is a dangerous situation to put yourself in when you are about to have as much success as you have, because you, Travis Hunter, are possibly one of the best football athletes of your generation. And you are going to go all types of places. But when you get on camera and you start talking about how people are just hating and all this other stuff and they are just mad, you're just mad because we don't have women and stuff like that, brother, first of all, I am a happily married man, and a lot of the people who are giving you advice are happily married men, and there's also happily married women as well too giving you advice as well. And all of us are basically saying the same thing because we're really trying to look out for you. We're trying to, have your back and your best interest. So all of that is unnecessary, and we know that it's coming from a place of defensiveness because, again, you feel attacked. But it's not that we're trying to attack you. We're trying to warn you about what is actually happening with this woman and what she could possibly do, because you are going to basically be upset when it's when you find out that she is not what you thought she was, or that at least the people who've been giving you advice are correct. But you know how the saying goes, a hard head makes for a soft ass, right? And a lot of people have been saying over and over again, well, it's one of those things where he's going to find a lot of women on his path and all this other stuff, so he shouldn't be settling on the 6. And I agree with that to a certain extent. I think he's going to meet probably a lot of not shit women just like her who are probably going to want to just, again, leech off of his success. But the point has been received, and I also acknowledge that it makes sense for the context, which is that if you're going to die on a hill, at least die on a hill where the woman is like a 8 or a 9 and she talks to you more respectful and talks about you in a more respectful way than this woman is doing. Because Travis, this is not it. This is just not it, bro. It's kind of sad to see, because I think a lot of us in the foundational Black American community and just Black people in general, we have a communal aspect about us. We want to nurture each other and see the best for each other. We are just a very accepting people and a loving people. We want to see our people succeed, especially when there's a situation of danger and we know that one of ours could be in that situation if they don't watch their back and if they don't if they're not careful, especially at the hands of somebody who is not a part of our culture. So there's a lot of us who just want him to watch out, be careful, and all this other stuff, right? But again, this is one of those situations where, he might have to just learn, what we're saying for himself. I don't like always using that expression because I think there's a lot of lessons that people can just learn by just observing people and things that happen to them, or they can just get the game following and be cool. But in situations where you have somebody who is this level of stubborn, they're just going to have to learn on their own. That's really all there is to it. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, and I'll definitely have more to come. So make sure you stay tuned. Other than that, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.